Hey everybody and welcome to another episode of Honest Pod with me, Ashley McAllister.
And me, Matthew Ali.
Yay! And here we go into episode 47.
How are you feeling today, Ashley?
Oh my god, Matt, I am so hungover.
It's so good.
It's not.
Why not?
Because it's silly. I was surprised how much I drank because I only ate breakfast yesterday. I had late breakfast around 11 and I started drinking at 3.
When you got to rugby club?
Yeah, literally the first thing I did was go to the bar. Because such a nice day.
It was. Yeah, I didn't want to go out. I had to work in the morning.
Mm.
And then, yeah, I'm glad I went out for a little bit, but you saw I was just super tired. Still super tired, to be honest.
Yeah. You were. You had a wee deck chair out in the middle of it. It was funny.
Yeah, Jordan was so good. He had like 2 chairs. He was like, I said I was really tired and like my voice was a bit funny. And then he was like, oh, I've got some chairs in the car. Do you want to sit down? And I was like, 100%. That was so good. Yeah, and everyone commented as well. So obviously I love it when people talk about me. So that's really good.
You got a lot of attention.
Yeah, that's exactly why
Which
I did
you
it.
hated, you know.
I absolutely hated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see my Instagram post?
No, I
From
didn't.
Sydney.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I commented on it.
Yeah. It's such a good picture though, isn't it?
It was a funny picture. Yeah, I remember it being taken.
Yeah. And I've got it on my bank card. Do you know Barclays do...
Oh, you have your personalised bank card?
Yeah. So I've got that picture on my card, so it's always really nice.
Oh, that is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
Oh, look at me.
Look at you.
No, that's what you're saying.
Oh, yeah. No. I don't even... I kind of remember... I don't know how it came out. Like, I know I was at the front of it. But...
You were having good banter with the photographer, I remember, and the photographer was like, everyone... I can't remember. It was something like everybody strike a pose, or it was because they were doing like, do a stupid picture or do this, and you're like, ah. And then somebody's like, oh, I think somebody said, oh, look, Matt hogging the limelight. You're like, what, me? And then you just did this funny thing, and everybody just looked at you just naturally, because Natch, you know what I mean?
It's another lesson that Tyra taught me in America's Next Top Model, because if you've got a good relationship with your photographer, then that's when you get those moments. And that's what happened there. And as you can see, like the wind then suddenly just flowing, and it really added dynamicism to the picture. And really like moving
word.
I know.
Word.
I couldn't think of how to say it. So it's just some things just fall into place.
The Sydney Opera House in the background.
Oh my, beautiful.
It was that was the one day it didn't rain in Sydney.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
No, it's beautiful.
It was good.
I mean, I'm sorry, how was your day?
I don't like attention, so anything to not talk about me. I just drunk so much and I had such a good night last night. I got in about 12 midnight. So tempted to go clubbing, but I didn't. Just had fun catching up with our friend Trisha, playing pool in a cool little bar around the corner from you live, which I think we should go to more often.
Definitely. It's in Limehouse. It's called The Old Ship. And it's quite new, apparently. I think it's less than a year old.
Is it new?
No, I've just made up that fact, but it sounds like it could be true.
Could be.
But
We'll roll with it.
Yeah.
New and exclusive club or bar in Limehouse called The Old Ship.
It's very much a pub, I'd say. Do you know what I think?
What did I say? Club?
Bar.
But it's a pub.
Yeah.
Definitely a pub. It's like an old country pub in the middle of the city. Like it's so small and pokey. Then there's a little room in the section. There's a little tiny outdoor section.
Yeah, I haven't been out there.
No, it was packed. Then there's a pool room at the back with one pool table, which has quite a lot of space around it. So for a bar to have such a small front room and such a large pool room at the back, it's cool.
Yeah.
You can play pool comfortably with people sitting around. We had so much fun playing pool yesterday. I want to do it again. But yeah, hanging like a bitch today.
You did look like a bitch today.
Nice haircut though. What do you think of the haircut?
I mean, you didn't like it. Everyone told you it was nice yesterday, and now you'll be like, oh, okay. It's okay. I mean, it looks like a normal haircut to me.
I don't like it at the start because to me it's shorter, and I get my haircut every 2 weeks, which people find...
That's crazy. I know there's a few people like you that do that. And what I don't like, actually, and I don't like this a lot, are people that do that weird Instagram story while they're getting their haircut, and you did that.
That's my first time ever doing it.
I know you don't normally do it, but I just want to let you know, don't do it again.
No, I was just sort of sitting there, and he had gone to make himself a cup of tea, the guy doing my hair, and I thought, I'm bored. Why not?
I think it's super awkward though, because people do it when their barber's doing their hair in the mirror, so they can see themselves. That's what I find really awkward.
Oh, I didn't do that, you see.
Yeah. So at least it was there, but like I know people that will be like filming themselves being cut by the person cutting their hair. The person's kind of just awkwardly doing it.
Yeah.
Like that, I find really strange.
Yeah. Well, you need to have a good relationship with your barber, I guess, like you do with your photographer.
Yeah. Exactly.
Make me look good, please.
Yeah.
How are you today? Are you feeling better?
I'm still quite tired. This week's been quite long. So I'd worked sort of like 6 days this week, which was a bit long and a lot of early alarms. I was exercising quite a bit, which is really nice, but it does take its toll as you go on. So yeah, I think for both of us, this might be a bit of a subdued podcast because we're both just feeling the effects of like a rough week. But you've got good news about this week.
Yeah, I got a job.
Yeah.
So I start work tomorrow. So today we're recording a Sunday here in London, and I start work tomorrow Monday. I'm excited about it. I can't say too much about it, unfortunately. But
it's right close to where my office is when I'm in the office, and I've been there quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jordan's not far either.
Exactly.
And I don't think Casper's that far either.
Casper, well, I've never asked him for lunch.
So it's Casper, because Casper actually listens.
He does, as I say. He does. I actually see him quite often. Like I was having dinner, like an early dinner. It's like 5 o'clock with one of my friends from work, and he walked right by. She's like, "You know him?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." Let him run.
Yeah. And Casper does listen because he was. Thanks, Casper. He was recommended to loads of people last night when we were out drinking. So, thanks, Casper.
And I'll ask you for lunch then.
So our job starts tomorrow.
So bizarre because the other day, especially in the first couple of weeks, I've been like thinking about who can I ask for lunch, and it just didn't even cross my mind.
I'd rather eat by myself.
Yeah,
by Casper for lunch.
I need to think of that next time.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other we've talked about it before, but I downloaded Grindr the other day.
I don't have it anymore. I got rid of that and scruff.
Yeah, I just, you know what, it was sort of thing where I wanted to see who was on it more than anything else. It's a very different sort of.
It feels dirty.
Do you know what it
genuinely feels seedy?
Yeah, it does.
There's nothing homely about it. It doesn't feel comforting or warm. It doesn't even feel like it doesn't try to masquerade. Tinder masquerades itself as something quite light and funny and bubbly, and it's very bright.
Yeah,
Grindr's just like black, just like horrible profiles. Like you're not even allowed to write too much about yourself. You just need to be like, "This is my picture. Do you want to fuck?"
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So I was on it anyway. Obviously, here's my picture. Do you want to fuck me? Not you, man. Even the logo looks like a little gimp mask, doesn't it?
Maybe that's the point of it.
Yeah. So I was on there the other day. And I received a message. Right, I'll show you the profile of the guy first. And then I'm going to read his messages to me in an accent that you want me to do. I don't know why, but this is him.
Okay.
Right. His profile just says, Fun Now 37, joined recently, H and H, which is high and horny for people who don't know, and then open-minded. So give me an accent and I'll do his.
French.
Oh, okay, right. So I'd already turned the app off at this point, and I woke up the next morning to a message that said, "Hi, sexy man." That's not French.
Hi, sexy man.
Hi, sexy man. Oh, how do French people speak? Bonjour. Hi, sexy man. Fun now? That's all I got.
Okay.
So I wrote back saying, "Hey, thanks for the message, just not for me. Thumbs up." This was the next morning. He writes back, "Fuck off, retarded British. Sorry, fat retarded British."
Oh, sick. Sorry, excuse me. Pardon me.
I meant to insult you by calling you fat. And he did spell retarded wrong the first time.
Retarded.
So the irony wasn't wasted on me. But but
did you look fat in your pictures?
I don't know. I'll show you them now. There we go. But obviously the guy, high and horny, it's not really something worth engaging in, really, is there?
What, with him?
Well, as in the debate of his terrible exchange.
Oh, you two look fat.
Do I look fat? I have a fat head.
Let me see. And what did you put as your weight? 90 kilos. 100.
What did I put? I put my weight as my weight, thank you. I am 90 odd kilos. 93, I think I am.
I think a lot of people lie about their weights because I know.
Do I look fat?
No, I don't think you look fat anyway, though. You do have like soft features on your face. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you've got like. So maybe that's it. You've got quite a rounded face.
I have a fat face, I think.
Maybe.
But I don't think I have fat on my face. I just have a round face.
Yeah, I think it's rounded. So you've got. Like,
I don't have defined features.
Jolly cheeks, should we say?
I don't have defined jawline or defined cheekbones.
Yeah,
I'm not blessed like that. But
people do make up their weight for sure. Because like I'm 105 kilos, right? And I do like a bigger guy. And then I'd meet up with some guys who put like 95 or like 98. They are remarkably larger than me. And I'm like, you are and now I have a lot of muscle mass in comparison to some of these people for sure, right? I'm stacked. I wish. But I've got a bigger lower half, like my hips are wider. So a lot of my weight comes from my lower half, which is like, not my top half.
Yeah.
But still, I'm like, sometimes I look and I'm like, there's no way that I'm like a stone heavier than you, these people. And I just think people make up a lot about their weights. And even their heights when they're like 5'10" and they come in, they're shorter than me. And I'm 5'9" 3/4. So yeah, I think people just make up a lot of stuff.
This is the online world. Killers at every corner. If they're going to lie about their weight, they might just lie about the last time they killed somebody.
So you just got Grindr. Have you met up with anyone?
No. Anyway, this exchange went on though.
Oh.
I've not met. I had to go to him.
Why?
Because I was in the. I just woken up and I was just like, I thought I was being polite. I was like, just not for me. Good luck. And he wrote back calling me fat, and I was like, I laughed at him. I said, ha ha ha. I said, yes, that's right. You must be super insecure with yourself. That when you hit on somebody when you're high and horny, then they politely decline your disgusting offer of fun now. You then act like a 3-year-old. He then said, ha ha, politely. Yeah, the very British way. And I was like, I may be fat, but I'm not British.
You are British.
I'm Irish.
Is it Northern Irish? I mean, the passport says British and Northern Irish, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I also have an Irish passport.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dual citizenship. It's a very contentious thing. He says, you are Scottish. No, you are Irish, Scottish, whatever. I said, I'm not, but I'm also not interested. Good luck. And he goes, you're all from the same shitty dough. And I said, now who's retarded who doesn't even know about culture?
You've got too much time on your hands, boy.
And then I just woke up. I had no job, so it didn't matter.
It was 12 p.m. I just woke up.
I said, go take another pill, mate. It might bring you some happiness. He goes, shut off, please. I don't take pills. Go have a few more beers. And I'm like, right.
Beer? Oh my god. You said, well, I'm gluten intolerant, bitch. It's only ciders for me.
Then he says, I bet you don't speak any other language except for English. I said, mate, you don't know anything about me. He goes, all I know is Brexit. And you can all fuck off on your island.
It's so good.
This is so good.
I think he's kind of enjoying it as well, considering you're both going backwards and forwards. Yeah. It's going to be like this weird angry thing we both had.
And then we meet.
Shall I come back and see?
We both meet in a pub someday and we're like,
oh, hey.
The sexual tension.
Oh my goodness. It sounds like it. It sounds really hot.
He goes, you can all fuck off on your islands. And then he goes, can you stop harassing and stalking me, please?
Can you leave me alone, please?
And then what else? There's some other exchanges. He said something. He said, "You're all desperate. 3 years and 0 contracts. 0 LOL." I said, "Why are you messaging me?" And he goes, "Stop harassing me." And I said, "I've already turned you down several times." And he goes, "Should I report you?" And I said, "Mate, you're the one that's messaging me." I said, "Report me if you want." Then obviously, if you report somebody, you get blocked.
Yeah. So
he said, "Done. I've reported you." And I'm like, "All right, good. Now you don't have to message me again." Then 5 minutes later, fucking drama queen, like all British people.
And so good.
I said, "Mate, you're still messaging me." I said, "Those pills must be fucking up your brain." And he goes, "What pills?" I don't take pills. Update yourself. And then I just sent lots of pill emojis and injection emojis. I said, "Those pills that get you high and horny and leave you on that come down that anytime someone rejects you, you're like a 3-year-old." He goes, "I don't take any pills, dear. This is a strong accusation." I said, "I really don't give a fuck." Yeah, and then that was it.
That wasn't it. What else is written?
No, there is no. There's a different message.
You screenshot all your messages with this guy?
No, this other guy matched me on Tinder, and he started a really weird conversation, and I was like, LOL, and that's all I wrote. And then he goes, I'll try again, and then he started this other conversation, but again it was like 8 messages in, and it was just weird. So then he followed me on Instagram and sent me a message on Instagram.
Your Instagram is on your Tinder?
Yeah. And then he followed me on Instagram. Then he found me on Grindr. And he said, "Hello, I'm the dork from Tinder." I said, "You're popping up everywhere." And he goes, "I look like a stalker as well as a dork." And
You're obviously kind of cute if you match, though.
he looked handsome, but then the message...
He's a weirdo.
Yeah. And then I said, "Look, mate, you seem really lovely, but just not for me." And he goes, "Oh, okay, fuck off then." And then unfollowed me and blocked me and everything. I'm like, this is so weird.
Because we said it last time, like, I think it's the right thing and the polite thing to do, to just say, like, you know what? I'm not down.
Loads. Like, you get either people don't respond, or you get more messages saying thanks for being honest.
Yeah. Which is fine. At least you do your part. Like, you can't do anything. Because I know, like, I don't like it just being randomly blocked. I find it really bizarre. I think it's quite rude.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's the right thing to do, but I guess people react really badly to rejection. I know that I used to get hurt by the fact that someone blocked me without like any word or anything. So I guess people react differently to that sort of feeling. But it's so funny, like that whole conversation with that guy. Yeah. So good.
I can't wait to fuck him.
I mean, there's passion.
There's passion.
There is passion there.
I'm just not into drugs, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'll just make sure he's not H and H and just H.
Just high.
Just horny.
Oh, just horny. Pardon me. I think they go hand in hand, unfortunately.
Oh, damn it.
But you know what, though? This does bring me on to like the topic that I want to talk about. Do you not think?
Yeah, oh God, it does really. Yeah,
I think it's pretty much, to me, it is because I wanted to talk about the documentary on BBC Three.
Yep. Before you jump right into that, I just want to, because we'll talk about this as a first topic. I just want to thank everyone who's listening. By the way, I don't think you understand how much Matt and I really appreciate how much you listen and how much you do share.
Even if you are fat,
we don't have any bias
towards our followers now.
No, unless you come at us.
No one ever come for us.
Grindr, they come for me all the time.
You just love to engage in it. It's so bizarre. Anyway,
but yes, thank you very much for listening. It means so much, and that's why we love meeting up every week and doing it, because we get such good feedback. And we can go now into your topic. Sorry, Matt. I just wanted to get that.
No, thank you. So, yesterday, as I was like napping and watching the TV because I was super tired, I woke up and I wanted to watch it. It wasn't what I planned to talk about, but then on BBC Three, or BBC iPlayer, so there was a documentary called Jesy Nelson, Odd One Out, and it came out on Friday the 13th. And Jesy Nelson is part of one of my favourite bands, Little Mix.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of Little Mix?
Have I heard of Little Mix?
Yeah. Do you like Little Mix?
Do you know what? They have a couple of good songs. One of the songs which I really like.
They've got tons of songs.
Do you know what they have?
Which are amazing.
Black Magic is the one I think.
That's one of the worst.
All right, okay. I do Little Mix isn't. When I used to live with Matt and Stuart, they loved them. Stuart loved Little Mix. I think they've been seeing them quite a few times as well. They're not a bad band. They're definitely very successful. Were they on X Factor?
Yeah, they won the X Factor in 2011.
They were the first girl group to go really far, and they did.
They were the first group to win.
First group to win, but they did a cover of a song which made me think, "Fuck, they're really good."
Yeah,
Vogue.
on Vogue. Yeah.
Vogue.
What's it gonna be?
Yeah, they're really good. Do you know what? They are actually really good.
And that was like their sort of like defining moment, I think, in the show.
And they did such there. That was brilliant. Yeah. I can only name you one of their songs. I probably know more in my head. In my head, I want to say "Bang Bang Into the Room," but that's not them.
Oh, no.
That's Ariana Grande, isn't it?
With Nicki Minaj and Jessie J.
Of course it is. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, the back history, I guess, of Little Mix, is that they were on the X Factor, the UK X Factor in 2011.
Did they audition as a group or did they?
They did not. They were so put together. There were 4 individuals that were put together before from like the audition stages and stuff, and then they were the first group to win. So they won then, and then they've been one of the most successful sort of.
Yeah, they're still about, which is amazing.
Yeah, they've got 5 albums out. I love their albums, honestly. Like I'm a big fan. I really like their music. I've listened to them loads. We went to see them once, just outside of London, and we thought like going to see Little Mix, it would just be like all of the gays. Although we didn't go to London, we didn't go to the O2. We went to this.
They're in the O2.
They're huge.
I know. I'm just saying that's massive.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's massive.
Yeah, they're a big worldwide, band for sure.
Amazing.
We went there and we thought it'd be all the gays, all the queens out to watch it, but we got there and it was literally 5 to 12-year-old girls with their parents everywhere. Yeah. We were like the only adult men that didn't have children there. It was fucking awful. We were a bit like, oh my goodness. It was just, honestly, we were like, what do we do? And we had sunglasses on.
All there.
It was me, it was Adam, Trisha.
Sunglasses on.
And Robbie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we had honestly, like it was a really good day. Because it was in this place, I can't remember where it was, just outside London. But it was near like sort of Haywards Heath area. South of London. And it had like a little festival field because it was in a big park and it had like all the stands and stuff. And yeah, it was just all these hot dads, young little girls, and we're dancing, like singing along, and the dads don't know what they're doing. They're just there, like they're cross-armed or got their young girls on their like shoulders and stuff. Yeah. But the show was really good. They were excellent. And it was amazing. So I do like Little Mix a lot. I do like their songs, their albums. I remember when Jesy Nelson, so she did a documentary called Odd One Out, and it's basically about her experiences from when she was on the show up until now. She looked very different to the way she did before, and she's been heavily affected by it because I don't suppose you watched the X Factor back then.
I remember watching it live whenever they did What's It Gonna Be? When was this? This was years ago.
2011.
11. I was in a relationship. We didn't do much of the weekends. I would have watched X Factor.
Well, she
definitely did watch
even when she was on the show, and I have definitely said this before, she was basically just called the fat one from Little Mix, and then she was constantly trolled about her appearance and her weight in comparison to others because the other girls are are not the same shape or size as her.
Yep.
And they follow this sort of stereotypical, really thin, shapely, not much shape girls, sort of.
Yeah.
And, they're all very pretty, but she stood out because people thought that she didn't match the group. But the thing is the reason why I say it's related to what you're talking about is because the documentary is not so much about reality TV and the fame that you get from it, because that's something else. When you go on there, and I spoke a little bit about it when we spoke about Love Island and the fact that people need to be prepared when they're on the show, but afterwards how to deal with this like injection of fame.
Yeah.
This was more about cyberbullying. And this is like, I mean, in your instance, like this, I think that'd be classed as cyberbullying. Someone just calls you fat based on,
my chubby picture,
your chubby picture, and the fact that you didn't want to engage with them. And she experienced that, and she was just talking about it, and it's affected her now. And you can watch the documentary is actually really good, and it's only about 50 minutes long, an hour long.
Yeah.
And it's just incredible how I think women can be treated differently, obviously, in these instances because of her appearance and the way she is. She's been judged a lot about it, and people will go to the point where they will just troll her and say that she needs to die, she needs to cut her head off, she's ugly, she's fat, and all these things. It made me feel really sad because I know that I've said some of those things. Now, I'm not a troll. I don't really go on the internet
You said some of those things about her.
If I was in a conversation with, my friends were talking about Little Mix when they're on TV at the time, I definitely would have said the fat one from Little Mix.
When you talked earlier on, I felt really bad then when you started talking about it because I said, oh, the one looks like a sloth. Yeah.
And you just think, and I think there's different levels to it. Like, I think to go out of your way to message someone to attack them is a few stages up from saying the things in conversation that we're having. We're not going out of our way to attack someone.
None of them are right, but
it's still like, it's quite interesting that we could just say, you don't think about it, isn't it? You say these quite hurtful things about someone's appearance, not based on their talent or the fact that they've actually achieved their dream and, you know, surpassed expectations of themselves.
Because she is talented as well. Like
they are, the whole group are. She's talented. She's unique. She's actually, her voice really stands out in comparison to others. She fits the group well. But
well, I mean, she has to for 5 albums in how many years? 8 years old. Like if there was some sort of bad dynamic in the group, they would have got rid of her, or rid of the person who was the bad dynamic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what they do.
Well, so the documentary is really, really good, and I'm not going to say too much about what exactly happens in it. It's on BBC iPlayer.
iPlayer, okay, cool.
Yeah, and it's really, I found it really easy to watch, especially in my like groggy phase yesterday, where it wasn't one of those things that I put on and just like played on my phone while it was on. Like I actually watched it, but it was somewhat emotional, but not like, I don't know. I found it easy to watch in that sort, you know, when I was tired. But her bandmates talk about her as well, like while she's there, because it follows her when they're filming videos and stuff, and they say it. She's right there. You know, she can be really tough to work with because she thinks that everything is bad. You know, those people that she's like, you know, I looked horrible in this picture. You know, oh, I look ugly here. Or I'm not doing this song well and stuff like that. And they're like, it can be difficult and, you know, a pain in the ass because when it's fine, she thinks it's not. And they say that, like, you know, people that should be, all the trolls that had messaged her and stuff should be held accountable for what they've done and should understand that the words that they say, to go out of your way to do that, I think is evil. But it's both evil, but really absent-minded. It's like social media to a point. It's so damaging. And because you're hidden behind, you know, you don't see these people as real people. You see them as images or, you know, things about emotions or feelings and stuff like that. Yeah. And you watch the documentary and she's still crying over, you know, her feelings, and she's really hurt. You can see it. She hasn't released this documentary based on her experiences and how she came through it. She's still very much in the moment in how she feels about herself. And you can see that her image has changed. She talks about the fact that she would never post anything where she's not looking absolutely perfect. She wears makeup everywhere all the time and is always constantly like just striving for this perfection. And she speaks about a time when she went back on the X Factor show a couple of years later, and she was just obsessed with making sure that everyone saw how much weight she lost. Then they did the show, and again, all they could say was, she should die.
Ugh.
Which is crazy. People are going out their way to write that. And she reads them all, and then to the point where she had tried to commit suicide.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. And you just think, I find many don't understand it, and people are reactionary in certain ways, and I think there's an element to the messages that you'd even wrote, and I know you didn't know this before we had a conversation, but people react to certain things based on how they're feeling, and project it onto others, and it's just really, really, it's deep. Like, it's really dark, I think, you know?
100%. I think what people, like, I can take an insult. Thick skin, all the bad thick skin. But I mean, you insult my skin all the time. Luckily it's it's so thick. Yeah. I can take an insult, and I think sometimes, and maybe it is an insecurity in other people. I have no idea, obviously, but I say things thinking that people have the same mentality that I have. Like, I would say something to you, but it's, first of all, if it's between us, we're joking anyway. But I think other people out there, not to defend anyone who's trolling, but they think if they can take an insult, maybe other people can as well. Especially somebody who's got millions of pounds. But,
do you think so? I don't think the trolls would be doing it for that reason.
I mean, I'm trying to justify in my head why somebody would go out of the way to be malicious.
I think because they didn't see it as real people, they're hidden, and there are no repercussions. So one thing they speak about is because if you're in person, if you're in person, you know, now it's difficult. It's different. I think it's different with relationships. You have individuals, so your friends. You know, we say things to each other, and maybe there are some lines crossed potentially, but we'll have a conversation. But we can have that interaction, and there are repercussions, and we also build that relationship. But on social media, you can just make an account and just go on it, and then just start saying shit. And people do that. They make accounts just to be hateful.
Yeah.
And I watch a lot of basketball in the NBA, and they talk about it. Even the players there will make these shadow accounts just so that they can interact and talk to others and even talk about each other and things like these athletes. But there's no verification process over like social media, so you can get young people on there who are open and exposed and open to being damaged from social media. And some people believe that you should have there should be a certain age and you should have to go through a process so that you can't just open an account online.
I think I think I was thinking about this the other day because I was worried, not the other day, a couple of months ago, because I would write something quite negative about people on my social media, like Arlene Foster, the politician. Like I will, if she posts something which in her head's a positive thing, like for her own self it is, I write back something like, "Oh, shame that you don't support gay marriage," or something. Or if she said something, if somebody would say something negative about gay people, I'd probably attack them back. But I do it in my own profile. I don't have I'll take accountability for anything I post online. But I do definitely think that there should be, because social media is becoming something uncontrollable, I think there should be some better way of policing it, making it safer. Because we can never not have it now. It's sort of so integrated, but it's just so dangerous. So
Absolutely.
There has to be, like, how can you not have to proof of who you are? Do you know what I mean? Like, why can't you just have this? Like, I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't think the businesses will do it themselves because they don't need to. And the more people they get on and the more exposure they have, Facebook and Instagram and stuff. But there needs to be, with social media and how it is, the same way that, like, before that, and I haven't watched it, but I wanted to, the Jade Goody, who was on Big Brother.
Oh, yeah.
There's a documentary about her, and it's almost, it follows the same sort of storyline where people just attack her when she goes, she goes to fame and people just attack her. Now, this was the tabloids. They thought it was free reign. But to a certain extent, people are monitored, professions are now monitored and what you can say and what you can't, and things are slandered and all that sort of stuff, when it comes to publications. But there's nothing like that to monitor. There's no governance over social media to a point. And in the documentary, Jessy's mum talks about the fact that she messaged Facebook to ask about reporting some of the people that were targeting her, and said there was just no response at all. And they don't need to, I guess. There's nothing to say that they need to. But her mum is scared for her and thinking that actually, she can see the damage that's happening to her mum, to her daughter, pardon me. So, yeah. And I wanted to just give some stats.
Go for it.
If that's okay.
Of course it is.
So, because when in the documentary and just in general, she talks about the fact that she was she attempted to commit suicide. They talk about the fact that this can affect young people. There's no governance. So young people of any age really can just go onto a verification process. They can just go online and build an account and be then open to anything. This could be like sexual abuse, people said, grooming, all that sort of stuff. And it says that, so 1 in 3 internet users is a child, and 3/4 of 12 to 15-year-olds have some kind of social media account. And so these are some stats from 2017 that suggest that 1 in 8 young adults have been bullied online. But there's no way of actually knowing really, because what the figures are. So some of them, they can go off the information they've been given, but there are a lot of victims out there, and this is of any kind of abuse that really don't put themselves forward. When you talk about not just cyberbullying, but I know sexual assault or any form of bullying, they don't necessarily put themselves out there. But it says 5% of children have experienced mean or hurtful comments online. 7% of those have been affected by sexual comments online. Did you ever, and I remember, I never thought about it too much then, but I remember when I didn't understand like my sexuality, right? And there was this online game where you used to draw pictures and people would guess, and there was like a few people around it and stuff, and you could talk to people on the game and then message them privately, and people would constantly write something called ASL. Do you remember?
Age, sex, location.
Yeah. And then even conversations that I went in, and bearing in mind I would have been like 12 or 13 or not, or whatever.
I remember from MSN Messenger.
There are people that say they were older, 20s or whatever like that. That I was having conversations with.
Yeah, as a 12-year-old.
As a teenager, a young adult having sexual conversations with people online.
Who were openly older than...
They said their age was older than my age and said it.
Jesus.
Did you ever have anything like that? Or you don't need to ask, but I don't know. I know that, like, and young people can be quite susceptible. That's there's a reason why there's like an age limit to certain things because, but this is back then, and even now there's still nothing that's to stop people from writing or saying or sending messages or doing whatever, and grooming. It says 2% of people have been physically threatened online. 1% have had spiteful, inappropriate pictures of themselves posted. And it says that girls are more likely to be affected more than boys. So 36.7% of girls tends to, instead of, against 30% of boys. And then the consequences of cyberbullying. So 7% of bullied children felt cyberbullying affected their social lives. 23% of children turned to self-harming behaviors such as cutting. And that's spoken about in the documentary as well, about people saying you should just go and cut yourself, which is awful. 24% of bullied children have suicidal thoughts. 10% of bullied children have attempted to take their own lives.
Jesus Christ. That's mad. And, you think as a country or as a community or the owners of social sites like Twitter, or Facebook or Instagram, or they should be like, we should be able to do more. It's not a case. I know you said that, what they don't have to, like what they might feel they don't have to, but they should want to, because people are getting hurt on their sites.
So,
companies don't have to move from plastic to paper.
Yeah,
but they want to for the better of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's got to do with your level of morality, if you think in a certain sense. Maybe there is a cost element to a cost and effort amount from a company, but you think, what are your standards? I don't know, what's the word? Not what your rights, but where your morals are when it comes to just looking after the world, and human rights in general. Because you do have an obligation, I believe, to protect other people if you have the means to do so.
Yeah. But also if you run a website,
I'm saying they have the means to do it. So that means they have a duty of care.
Yeah.
To look after and protect, even if they are not active participants in bullying themselves.
Yeah.
They're using their platform. They're using the information because they can gather information and look at words, what people say, because there's things like we will literally say words to each other, and then in half an hour I'll look on Facebook and there's an advertisement or something that's related to the words that I've said. I haven't even typed it. And it's crazy. So there are things out there nowadays that we have to sign and press, and agree to even before we start going on our phones and doing all these things.
Any website we go to, we have to accept the cookies it's crazy.
And then as soon as you do that, you get this advertisement or something directed at you based on what you've looked at and all these sorts of things.
So you're able to control it when the money's there for you to make off it.
Yeah, there are systems that look at the words that you write and say, so they could do that with bullying as well and then target those. So yeah, they do have that. One of my friends, who Ollie, who works for the Samaritans, and we'll just mention those in a bit, especially when it comes to suicide prevention stuff, says that it's just a human rights element. You just needs to care for others, and everybody does have that, as human beings.
There's 100%, and there's also an interesting bit of software which is totally unrelated to cyberbullying, but it was my last job. We talked about we looked at online fraud, but there's software out there that's able to, if they can identify your email address on your device that you've logged into an account on, it can then put a flag against your device, put a flag against any other device that you've used that email on. It can put a flag on any other accounts associated with that device.
Mm.
So there's ways of tracking these things, and if you can do it if companies can do it to save themselves money, they can definitely do it to save lives. You know what I mean? It's so sad that we're not there yet. But
yeah, I mean, I think it's amazing that she has done this documentary because, this has been around in her experiences, for 8 years now, 9 years, and
when she's been in the public eye.
She's been in the public eye, been suffering through this for such a long time. It's still affecting her now as a young person.
But kids go through this every day at school. I remember when we were at school. This is how messed up kids are as well. We were studying a book for English, and there was an online place where they talked about books that you're studying for school, and part of it had a forum where you could talk about questions in the books. But people in our school were going on that online forum to bully somebody at school. This is like a boring study website. And there's people attacking a girl in our school through a forum, knowing that she'll go there to read about the book. I think it's messed up.
It is. And kids are stupid. And I think kids need help in those situations, both to understand the consequences, because young people may not fully understand the consequence of their actions, and that's something you learn as you grow up. But there are still adults out there that do the same things, and know that there are no consequences. And
there's no consequence.
Yeah, and the last thing I just want to say then is, especially because it says, what do teens do? So there's some ways that people deal with it, and there's one way that you did. You just confronted the person and said, as an adult in a minor situation, and we could call it minor, but actually in these situations, people could be hurt by the fact that someone just suddenly calls you names for no reason. But someone who might be more susceptible to this may deal with it differently. But 36% of teenagers asked the bully to stop. I think that might be your situation, yeah. 34% block communication, so just able to stop it. Or you didn't do that in that situation, but I think you wanted to get riled up anyway.
I was in the mood for it.
But it wasn't like in a danger zone, I guess. Yeah.
No. He wasn't that far away though. He was less than 500 meters away. So.
29% do nothing at all and just leave it. 28%
were the worst thing you could probably do.
It depends on which situation, I guess, but you should call out bullies for sure. But also, if you do nothing, if it doesn't affect you, if you're avoiding it, then I think it can be dangerous. But if you're able to just not let it affect you and continue, maybe that's slightly different.
Yeah, I think when it comes to the way you mentally approach these things, the reason why I challenged it was because I'm totally comfortable with myself.
Yeah,
and I just wanted to be like, hey mate, I'll do what I don't care. Like, you didn't affect me. I think I didn't want him to think that he'd hurt me in any way.
Yeah, I think so. No, I think do it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
The most worrying of all these statistics is that only 11% of teens troubled by cyberbullying spoke to their parents about the problem. And I think that's probably the biggest sort of statistic that's most important.
Yeah, but so I think sometimes it's hard to speak to people because you almost feel a bit ashamed, like, is it my fault I'm getting bullied? Or so yeah, I mean, I guess it's going to lead into systems, like you're going to say a bit smart and stuff, but there's places out there for people to go to talk to people who they don't know.
Yeah.
They talk to people, I can never say the word, anonymously.
Yeah.
They can talk to people without giving away details and just ask for advice and ask for support that way.
Absolutely. I mean, just abuse in general, for some reason, there's a thing with abuse where people feel like they're to blame. So if something happens to them, it's their fault. And I think there might be, in those situations, if people are saying these words, they must have done something to deserve it, which is just not true in most cases, in the situations. The Samaritans deal with suicide, and if you feel the need to, if you feel like you're those feelings, then definitely reach out to the Samaritans, because they can really help. And even if I don't think we'll have any sort of teenage or young listeners. I don't believe that we know that. But Childline is something in the UK that you can use as well to reach out if you're a young person who needs to express yourself and understand how to deal with the situation.
Yeah.
But one thing, the overall thing I would say is just watch the documentary for sure. Like I said, I'm not really a trolling type person. I don't go out of my way to attack others. But I will think about the times that I said and say, those hurtful things to others when I'm describing someone, because it's that those thoughts that that mentality where you just think actually, they may not hear it there, but there might be situations that I say those things that people hear.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
You okay? We're on the podcast.
We're actually recording. Yeah.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah, sorry. So Matt's housemate's just walked in. But yeah, so other websites you can go to is there's a website called youngminds.org.uk, which is support for bullying for young people. There's bullying guidance on bullying.co.uk. Bullying at school. There's like if you literally Childline, like I was going to call you Childline as well. I was going to call you somebody else there. And then antibullyingalliance.org. So there's loads of websites and support out there. Because bullying happens at work as well, in all different groups than online.
It does, not just young people, but adults as well.
Yeah. People, we talked often in this podcast about a game that we play.
Oh.
Unicorns.
Unstable Unicorns.
Unstable Unicorns. It is, in my opinion, one of the best card games you can get. So I recommend anyone who hasn't played it to get it. But Matt had it.
I seem to have lost it somewhere, obviously.
You lost it. Obviously, you play it so much that it's always there and you've just forgotten it somewhere.
Yeah, I must have had it in a plastic bag and lost it.
You didn't take it to Dublin, did you?
Maybe. I think I did.
I think you did.
I definitely lost it.
Did you not play it in the pub in Dublin? No. No.
Anyway, I got a not safe for work one.
I know.
And it's so good.
It looks dark.
And we'll definitely post it. But there's some really good cards on it. It's quite a gay game, for sure.
It is so camp.
And then so these ones that we swear, yeah. So we've got some cards. There's a basic unicorn. If you played it, it's a really good game. Fuckboy unicorn.
Why not?
And we're talking about this because there's just a lot of fuckboys. My housemates deal with a lot of them on a regular basis. On a regs. Vanilla corn.
What is the not safe for work one is, I think, a bit more sexually gay than the normal one. The normal one is, you could play it probably with kids.
I think so.
Yeah, mature kids, like teenagers.
Yeah,
because it's quite a complicated game.
Yeah. But the content is not anything that's harmful in any way. It's quite pretty, in fact.
Yeah, it's actually quite
like magical flying unicorn.
Yeah, and it's all rainbows and unicorns, and it's just. It can be vicious. Like, you have to kill off other people's unicorns, which is sad.
This one is brutal. Now, we haven't played it yet, but I was reading the cards. And then, we got wasted white unicorn, which is Ashley yesterday.
It was definitely me yesterday.
Horse with a dildo.
Oh, dildo corn.
Yeah, the horse with a dildo is really good.
One of the unicorn speed.
Yeah, yeah. And it's got like an S&M one, a dungeon one.
Unicorn chastity belt.
Uncut unicorn.
Oh.
And your hand limit increases by 1 hand.
Unicorn dungeon.
Unicorn dungeon. It's so good.
Nay, bitch. Nay, motherfucker.
Sadomaso corn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Hentai corn.
What's hentai? Oh.
Hentai is like the Asian sort of like weird. I was going to say weird, but no judgments here, I guess.
Unicorn butt plug.
Yeah. Semen biscuit.
That was you last night.
Oh god.
Limp porn. Oh.
No, boy, that's what I'm drinking. This one,
sticky stitchy.
The mother. Oh, we said it. Motherfucking flying unicorn. Yeah.
Unicorn flatulence.
There's bukkake corn.
Oh my god. This is so funny. We have to play it.
This picture's so cute because it's unicorn cuckold.
Oh.
You know what cuckolding is?
Yeah, it's when you cheat. You're a cheater.
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy.
Pony play.
And then there's these two that work together. So it's Bear Daddy Unicorn and Twinkie Corn.
Oof.
So when this card enters your stable, you may search the deck for a Twinkie Corn card.
Oh, Twinkie Corn's got a wee.
He's got a little jock strap on. This one kills me. Now, this one is my favourite. Straight but curious unicorn. And the picture is like you can't see his face, but you just see his body. It's so good.
So that was loads of people on
that
Grindr.
picture is so cute. I know.
You just see the chest. Like
Yeah.
it's obviously a mirror shot.
Yeah.
I like that was
it.
a good one. That was a good blow up unicorn.
Blow up doll.
Yeah, like a blow up doll.
Yeah. Polyamorous unicorn.
Oh,
That's cute.
That's cute.
Yeah. So we're gonna play this Unicorgi.
Ooh, I wish I was in a unicorgi right now.
This is you now. Unicorn hangover.
Oh,
If you didn't
yeah,
get-
the stuff coming out of me is not that colour, that's for sure.
Kink shame. See, that's it. We don't want to shame anyone.
No, but he's on the exit.
Yeah, because
leaving.
he's been shamed, so he has to
He's
leave.
shamed, yeah.
Safe sex, got a condom on.
Oh, I like that condom.
Fuck, marry, kill.
Oh,
Yeah, it's good.
unicorn acid trip.
Sex, drugs, and unicorns. Excellent.
Such
can't
a
wait to
good
play
game.
it.
I can't wait to play it. Just not today, because
Whatever.
Matt's going to be a dirty slut unicorn tonight.
You need to stay out of my business.
Oh.
Excuse me.
Matt will be putting on a show unicorn.
I'm actually going. We're having dinner. Thank you very much. How dare you? How dare you?
I'm sorry.
I will say this though.
Name means name.
Well, no. We haven't got time.
What were you going to say?
Well, no, because you're slut shaming me at the moment, which is fine. I'll take it. But it's a situation that I'm not going through at the moment. But it's a bit like Agony Ash situation where, like, if you've got like a friends with benefit situation, but then someone starts to feel things. Yeah. One starts feeling things more than the other. And then my friend was like, "What do I do?" And I was like, "You need to end it."
This was a real life. So people who don't listen all the time, we sometimes have a Agony and Dash and Big Mama Matt sort of bad advice column. And we were out the other day, and this was a real life. Like, this was in the street in 3D real life Agony Aunt situation that we were put in.
Yeah. So what do you do so you've got a current situation, which is, an understanding. You hook up with someone where it's not dating. You just go there, you sort of, have sex.
With the intention of it not to be serious.
Yes.
Yeah.
You might have food and stuff. So, because, the situations that my own experiences, I'm not really one that just wants to go in and go out within a 20 or 30 minute span. I still like to have a cuddle, maybe a little chat and stuff. And then, and
it's
then,
not just dip it and go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's with the understanding that that's what, that's what your agreements are. But what if those agreements change? So then if one person starts... So in this situation, one of the people had said, "Oh, we should go away for a weekend."
What?
And he was like, "What do I do?" And I'm like, "We can't go away for the weekend unless he's paying for it." Because he did say, "Does it make a difference? Would you?" If he was like, "Oh, I'll pay for a trip to go to South Africa," what would you do?
Hypothetically going to South
Hypothetically.
Africa. Going to South Africa.
Or China. Or, he was like, "Oh, let's go to Mexico."
It depends, because if there's a time difference, there's a time difference, and that affects a lot.
What do you mean?
Well, if I'm going to be flying over to China, then I'll come back, I'll have jet lag, which I have to be prepared for.
What are you talking about?
Well, if we're flying someone over across the country...
With them, though. They don't live there.
No, I know, but I'm saying, if we're... Okay, anyway. In my head, I was making a different point, but I'm clearly not. What did you ask me? Would I go?
Would you go? They'd be like, "Oh, I'll pay for your trip to come to,
No, and I've been in this situation before.
Have you?
Yeah, when I was a freshly young gay on the gay scene of Leeds.
Oh, yeah.
I was dating somebody who... Not dating, definitely not dating. Hooked up a couple of times with somebody who was an older gent and had...
Sugar day.
Yeah, pretty much. And he was going on a trip, I think to Mexico, and he asked if I wanted to go with him. And I said, absolutely not, because I was at uni and I didn't want to be financially responsible or financially dependent on somebody else. So I don't know. Depends. That situation was a no for me, but depends. I mean,
That's beyond, like, the friends with benefit situation, I think. I think it goes out of that scope. If you start going on trips. Because then now you're spending time with someone, like, important, significant time.
yeah. And yeah, it's... Depends. No, it depends. I don't know. I would say no if it was me.
After that, then, can you still be friends with benefits?
No.
You have to cut it, right?
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, and yeah, it's over.
Because they were like, oh, but what if we have a conversation and just say, I just be honest and open. I was like, I think you've been fair this whole time and been open and honest, and you can still do that. But it's quite clear that this person has interests beyond just wanting to, meet up every couple of weeks. I think so. It wasn't just that. It was like, oh,
it's a big commitment to spend.
He
a lot
said we
more
should
time.
go. He did say, oh, we should go out and have a date.
Yeah.
Before that, and he was like, no. He was like, oh, I was going to take you on holiday with my friends. And he was like, no.
With
but then,
friends?
Friends.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So so then I think... But,
Shut it down.
He says in their situation, it's very, very good. It's very strong. He really enjoys it. They both like each other in that sense. But you can't continue it because I think, we talk about feelings and stuff. It just develops.
Yeah, I think...
You have to just nip it in the bud.
Yeah, no, yeah.
That's what I think.
No. It's a no for me.
Which is a shame because if you do enjoy each other's company and stuff, it is upsetting. It's like breaking up with someone almost.
Well, it shouldn't be. If it feels like breaking up with somebody, then you've gone in too deep.
Well, more just like, you do enjoy... It's a shame.
Metaphorically gone in too deep.
Oh, yes. You could write these bloody cards, these unicorn cards.
I could write these unicorn cards.
Yeah.
No, I'd say shut it down.
You have to shut it down.
Yeah, sorry, but shut it down.
It's annoying even if
I don't
the
think
time that you spend with each other is good. Oh?
I don't think he listens.
No. Oh. But I'm still careful of saying people's names now.
Yeah. No. I didn't say his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So, cool. I want to talk about something, but I'm actually going to talk about it next week. Only because we...
Definitely.
Yeah, time-wise. But also because there's a documentary coming up this week, which isn't out yet.
Oh, so it'd be good to watch it.
Yeah, it'd be good to watch it and then talk about it. Yeah. So, one thing that happened this week was Gareth Thomas revealed that he's HIV positive. He made an emotional video. Have you seen the video?
Yes.
It was a minute and a half video on his Twitter account, so go check that out. And yeah, just watching it was really sad. Like he struggled to say it out loud, I think. But basically, yeah, by the sounds of it, he was forced to say it before some tabloid outed him.
Yeah, I didn't know because I was looking on the internet. I couldn't find. I thought there'd be a reason. He said he had to do it. He had to do it.
Yeah, it's my secret to tell you.
Yeah, and he says I've been forced to say.
Yeah, and then I think I read somewhere that some tabloid was about to tell his parents and use their reaction to sell papers.
It's the same Jay Goody thing we were talking about. It's really vile. These are people's lives.
It's disgusting.
And me and Jordan were just watching the first series of RuPaul's Drag Race, right, which started in 2008.
Oh my God.
Okay, and then there's a drag queen on the show called Angina who comes out and says that they've been living with HIV for the past 2 years. And they were just saying that back then it would have been such a big deal. But nowadays if people say it, and they have said it on the show, that they're on to the next question. But actually, things that we think as a community we're getting past are still issues now, and it's just surprising.
It is surprising. But it's also down to one of the things that it talked about in this article I read was there was so much misunderstanding about HIV and AIDS in the 80s, like what they put forward, and that stigma is still stuck because it seems to. But there's obviously advances in medicine now that allow people who are HIV positive to live long, healthy lives with effective treatment. The virus cannot be passed on. So, yeah. So Gareth Thomas has said he's got HIV. He wanted to, like I said, he felt like he was forced to come out, which is sad. But there's a documentary coming up, and I think it's on BBC Wales on Wednesday, so I imagine it will be on iPlayer at some point, which he talks about his diagnosis. But yeah, I think we will talk about it maybe next week when we watch it.
Yeah, and we can say people watch it as well, and then you can get involved with the conversation.
Yeah. So if you people do watch it on iPlayer, I think it's on Wednesday night. Let us know what you think, and we'll talk about this next week. But I was thinking, because HIV is still so important, and it's still so much stigma around it. Loads of people don't know a lot of stuff about it. I was very uneducated about it only 5 years ago.
I still am.
Yeah. 1st of December is AIDS Awareness Week, or AIDS Awareness Day, I think.
Okay.
I think we'll do a special HIV episode then.
Sweet.
But next week we'll talk about Gareth Thomas and his story. But yeah, make sure you watch the documentary and get involved. And another documentary which I watched, this is very documentary heavy, this episode, but I'm guessing you didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it yet.
No. There was a brilliant documentary which means a lot to me because it's all based at home.
We just don't care about Northern Ireland.
You don't care about Northern Ireland. It's so clear if you're government at the minute that you do not care about Northern Ireland. But the trouble, so it's been 50 years since the British troops arrived in Northern Ireland to help the RUC, the Royal Ulster Constabulary, the police force of Northern Ireland back then.
I like how you just brushed over the last word because you couldn't say it.
Constabulary.
Yeah.
But so yeah, there's a really good documentary. Now it lasted an hour and a half, which I know sounds like a long time, but it is fascinating. So if you are interested, which I think you should be,
I'll watch it this week.
Well, the new, it's a 7-part series.
Oh,
I know.
I thought it was one episode of 1 hour and a half.
No, it is. There's 7 parts to it.
Maybe tomorrow.
Watch it. Like, do watch it. I'm not saying watch it for next week. You know, there's lots of documentaries on this at the minute.
We've advertised loads.
Yeah, but I would say just definitely do watch it because it was eye-opening and it's sad and it's. I think a lot of people here will find it shocking that this happened. Well, it's happened in my lifetime, and I'm still very young. And a lot of people I don't think here realize it happened so close to home. Yeah, so please watch it because it's really good. Anyway, enough is enough for today, I think. Do you have anything else, Matt?
I don't.
No?
I hope you have a good rest. I'm super excited for your first day of work.
I'm super excited. I need to go eat, so I'm going to go get some food.
Now?
Unless you want to play Unicorn Band.
No, I can't.
Well, what time do you do that?
No.
Oh. Alright then, well, that's it then. Thanks everyone for listening.
Thank you for spending your morning with us. If you're listening on Thursday morning or your afternoon.
You're listening on the afternoon or any time of the day.
Yeah.
And any of the multiple countries around the world that listens to this podcast. Have a great week.
Have a great week, Ashley.
Bye.
Bye.